Good morning. So this is my literal fresh look at the crypto market today. Today is May 8th. It is currently 11:03, 3 minutes late to the live stream. Very sorry about that. Today we are going to be talking about where the crypto market is and taking a few questions, anything that pops up into anyone's head. Right now we're sitting at a record $2.55 trillion in the crypto market space. So again, another all-time high yet again. So it's been pretty bullish lately. Ethereum, last time I looked at Ethereum was, hold on, this looks a little crooked. Last time I looked at Ethereum, it was at 35.50, so 36.71. Pretty good. How's it going, Gary? BNB has actually made a nice rebound. I can see it going higher, but I might end up picking a little bit more BNB up today, but we'll see. There we go. And Dogecoin, oh my god, I'm super shocked about how Dogecoin is like pumped up to 71. I'm glad, and I put up a poll. I'm glad that people said that they don't think Dogecoin can flip Binance Coin. And I made that poll at roughly like 75 or 80 billion dollars, and now we're kind of pushing up. We're almost there. That's geez, if Dogecoin really passes BNB, then anything in this world is possible, right? XRP sitting at a healthy 73 billion, which is nice to see. Cardano, a lot of people have talked about Cardano lately, and Cardano is going to be big. Super excited for where Cardano is going in terms of long term. But when you look at like the smart contracts being deployed with Alonzo, when Alonzo comes out, and the different applications that can come out, just look at what happens with Ethereum, PancakeSwap, and all of that. At the end of the day, all of that functionality is going to be something allowable in Cardano. Then you think about like peer-to-peer lending and everything else. So super bullish on like really any smart contract system that is well deployed, but Cardano especially. And then Polkadot, we had that video about Polkadot and the whole Polkadot ecosystem, what I think about that. I've been playing around with PSwap. Actually, I'll pull that up here. Let's take a look at PolkaSwap. So I've actually already started providing a little bit of liquidity here. Yeah, so I would heavily consider you look into at least this, because when you look at things like PancakeSwap or Uniswap, you can see how much traction they're getting. Now we have PolkaSwap, which is for the Polkadot network. So ZOR is the gas token for this whole network. Right now, I've just dipped my toes in, so I deposited 5 of my ZOR into the PSwap DEX. I provided a little bit as liquidity, so I have a pair here of PSwap token, so the PSwap actual token, and then the ZOR token. So I'm adding this liquidity to the pool of people trading, and then I get PSwap as a reward. You can do that with any pair that's tradable. So far, I really like it. It has a really nice bridging. They said that the bridging would take upwards to 2 days for some people, but it took me maybe 40 minutes to get the bridge over. So that's Ethereum to the Sora network. They're really cool. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I've been hearing about buying T-Fuel. Good morning, Andrew. How's it going, dude? Yeah, the whole premise is super interesting to me, and I think I'm actually going to take you up on that. I actually think I'm going to grab a little bag of T-Fuel, because I'm already staking my Theta, but yeah, that's somebody put me onto that. They literally said that the gas token is going to increase. So yeah. But overall, we're doing pretty well. But again, if you're looking for like Polkadot, you're looking like at Val, PSwap, SOR. But those are my recommendations right now, just because like that's just my flavor of the month right now. But I've been a Polkadot bull for a while. In fact, let's look at it, because I still think, and sorry, we have a bunch of stuff from the last video. We still haven't like done anything, right? Even being at around $40, which is still a high price, we've still not like hit over these marks. And I'm not complaining about that because I'm totally fine with the sideways action. Absolutely. It's going to make everything healthier, especially when it pumps. And with seeing the P-swap DEX coming out, and hopefully more people are going to use it and get familiar with it, it's going to get easier to use. And then, we just get a speed up of a network effect. And I think this is going to do a similar pump to what like Uniswap did back in the day. So you sold Doge at 50. Is Doge, you know what, man? Don't be upset about that, right? Like Doge is like one of those speculative things. Yeah. Doge absorbing the pump? I don't think so. I think regardless of how you see it, even if Doge pumps, and we see this with every other cryptocurrency, and we see this with Ethereum too, right? What happened when Ethereum was going on its big, actually, let's look at it because that was interesting. So Ethereum was pumping all around this area, and the crypto market was doing things like Solarian was doing things, and like other blockchains were doing things, but like really everything wasn't doing like anything spectacular while Ethereum was making this big leap up. So all I'm saying is what happens is one coin usually takes a good amount of buying pressure. So everyone's buying that token. And then eventually people just chill out and relax and start funneling their money into other projects. So that's very common, especially when you're talking about the top two cryptos. You see it with Bitcoin all the time. When Bitcoin pumps and then settles down, altcoins just go wild because all that money went into Bitcoin and now is funneling into altcoins, or people taking profits from that token going into altcoins. So that's very common. So even if Doge does soar, most likely that money will flood into the crypto market is essentially what I'm saying. But I think Doge right now, if you're in Doge, it's a speculative market. But hey, with cryptocurrency and the joke about what Elon said in terms of it's harder than real money. Yeah, that is kind of the joke, right? Dogecoin is actually a harder asset than fiat currency at the end of the day. Now, I'm not bullish on Doge at all. I'm just saying, like, when you have the question, do you want your money in USD or in Dogecoin? That actually might be an easy answer, right? So interesting thing to think about, definitely. But I don't think it's absorbing the pump. It's gonna dump eventually. It has to. Maybe it doesn't, but it's definitely not. I don't know. It's gonna be around for a long time. ETH in the next 6 months. That's an interesting thing because I think ETH is going to dominate once the updates are coming. Because we have the gas fee updates even before ETH 2.0. They just found out. I haven't researched about it and I've been trying to find more information, but I heard that they found a way to speed up ETH 2.0 deployment or expedite the process essentially. So I'd be super interested in that because if we get ETH 2.0 sooner, that's massive. Of course, that could cause a decent amount of selling pressure because everyone's ETH suddenly becomes unstaked and people might just dump. So that's also a possibility. But I definitely think by the end of the bull market, $10,000 is in order for Ethereum. I think that's very conservative in terms of where Ethereum can go. So yeah, I'd probably say I'd be comfortable with saying 10,000 in 6 months. And that I would probably say that's on the low end. You could probably see upwards to 15. But it really just depends on how many people and how much money enters the system. But when you look at things like Ethereum being added to trusts, being traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange here in Canada, and being put in ETFs around North America, that's hugely bullish on Ethereum in the long term. So my numbers could be completely blown out of the water. Did you get more dot pairs? So I have here. I'll show you. So I'm providing liquidity. Just like PancakeSwap. Hey, what's going on, Jared? Haven't seen you in a while. Just like PancakeSwap. So we're providing liquidity here, and we're earning PSwap tokens. So we've only bought PSwap so far. I still want to buy Val. I got to move my other Zor onto the network, but overall it's pretty smooth. Yeah, there's the Polkadot JS interface. All it took was watching a quick YouTube video. It took no time at all to learn. So I'd recommend it if you're willing to learn. It just takes maybe a good 30-40 minutes to get everything set up, and then you're good to go. But that'll become easier as time goes. Now I'm really happy to see Bitcoin under 60K. I think this is amazing for us. I think the longer, my coffee's getting cold, but I think the longer Bitcoin stays in this range, the absolute better for altcoins and the crypto market. Now, I also talked about, because we discussed how we could have an extended cycle, and that's possible. My target is still probably around September for the end of the bull market. But, you know, it's fully possible that we go all the way until the new year. So, you know, you hear a lot that the bull markets are 4-year cycles, but, you know, really we don't know. There's not enough data to say that with enough confidence. Yeah, hey, you know, even through all the stress, at least crypto's doing well and portfolios are pumping. So, congrats on the move, though. Hopefully it's good. I know how stressful it is. I can't stand moving. It's one of the worst things in the world. Yeah, definitely. Leave a like if you're watching, if you enjoy the content. Also, if you have any questions about crypto or what's going on, one crypto that I'm really happy, and I haven't looked at this chart at all, so let's take a look. Let's take a look together, because we've been through the ringer with Reef here. Now, I still believe in the project, you know, but I think the CEO had a couple of missteps there, and maybe I'm a little bit critical of him, but I don't know. I think there were some partnerships that could have been managed a lot better. You see the FUD with FTX and everything else, where they listed Reef on the exchange and then started dumping their Reef that they listed with the contract. And it caused a bunch of issues because then Reef didn't want to release them the rest of their Reef in the contract. And it was just a big thing. But like at the end of the day, I blame that a lot on the CEO. But hey, we are moving now. My dollar cost average is at least in the positive now for Reef. And again, I'm super excited for Polkadot and the Polkadot ecosystem. So, and Reef bringing DeFi to regular people. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. So hopefully they can pull it off. It is one of my more speculative tokens, so it's not something that I would say is a definite sure thing. But I'm pretty excited about it. KSM I'm also really happy about, but you know, we're super into the Polkadot parachains right now. ADA end of May. Okay, so let's talk about ADA. I heard a couple of prices. So right now, we're interesting because we finally broke up above that channel, and I lost all my. So we talked about this before. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we did in the video. So we had here. So we've obviously broken out and now maintained above the level of resistance that we've been struggling with for the last little while, or bumping around this channel. We've basically been trading sideways. We haven't really been doing anything, and when we did pump, usually we were smacked down by Bitcoin, and that was just like a lot of other cryptocurrencies. A lot of currencies were going really well, going through a nice channel, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin capitulated and took the market down. I was watching 5 or 6 of my altcoins do exactly that. When you're looking at Cardano in terms of the end of the bull market, it's very possible that you can see somewhere like between a $5 to $10 ADA. And I think that's really realistic in terms of the market cap, what it can do, and how much it can onboard. But it definitely does depend on how much is launched and if everything is launched on schedule and on time. Because a good amount of this depends on whether or not they can maintain market capitalization according to Polkadot and Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum. You have a lot of other smart contract blockchains working to do a similar thing that ADA is doing. Of course, ADA is doing a couple of niche things in terms of peer-to-peer lending in Africa and a bunch of other services. So that at least makes them stand out a little bit more. But at the end of the day, they are required to produce a product, right? So they'll need to actually provide something. But I think as long as everything goes well, we are looking at within the $10 range in ADA. No more than that, though. I think $10 is probably one of the more bullish numbers that I would say. I'd probably say there's probably a sweet spot somewhere in the middle that we're probably going to land on. So that's my prediction for ADA. Yeah, right here. Well, we could see it. So it's interesting because we could see it go up. It's not out of the territory right now. Often, and here we'll look back at this run up. So here, hold on. Okay, so we see ADA goes through a lot of these like pumps and then fields of consolidation. So we might see it sit there for a couple of days, or well, I'm looking at the hourly chart. Hold on, let me go to the day, and you can see this a lot better. Okay. So this is what ADA kind of does, right? Typically. It'll trade sideways 9 times out of 10. That's what ADA is going to do. That's what ADA likes to do. But when it pumps, sometimes it'll go on some sideways action and then get ready for another upswing. So we could be seeing that where we hopefully maintain above this, right? And then are able to continue sideways and then make a move up. That's typically how ADA works, and that's why I like ADA, because when it does go up like this, it maintains a good level of support. And then that way, you know, you're not having like a Doge coin pump where it's just going up and then crashing down, right? You're getting a much more sustained up. So that's why when people complain about Cardano trading level, I don't understand it, because for me, that's creating so much more support at these levels. So I don't get it. People get too frustrated when the market is just stable. Where I don't think you should be frustrated at all. I think stability and trading sideways is probably one of the healthiest things a market can do for the short term. Obviously, in the long term, you want long-term trends of going up, right? So you're not going to be buying a stock that's been on, you know, sideways action for 4 years or something. But, you know, if it's sideways action for maybe 4 or 5 months, that's nothing. You know, get ready for a bear market. So, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, $10 ADA would be pretty big. There's a lot of Doge people. And I like. Oh, so here's my hot take on Doge. I really don't think that people are going to get as wrecked as people think. I think people that buy now are going to get wrecked. Anyone getting into Doge now, what are you doing? But the reality is, Dogecoin's not going away. It's blockchain. The mathematics is a thing, and it is harder technically than the United States dollar. Now, I'm not making a bull case for Dogecoin. I'm not bullish on it. I have $100 worth of Dogecoin that I bought a while ago. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't be buying it. And there's a lot of people that are like putting real money into it, but you know, yeah, I consider Dogecoin kind of like going to the casino. Yeah, I think Cardano is definitely a long-term hold. And like, you gotta buy into some projects, right? When you're looking at blockchain, and I've had conversations about this before, and like actually this is funny because I was asked about Bitcoin in a morning meeting at work. And they were discussing it, and we were talking about it. And I eventually told everyone that, you know, at the end of the day, what we're seeing right now with blockchain technology is the equivalent of the internet coming out. This is truly the most transformative technology that we've ever seen in our generation, possibly in the last 100 years. This is going to revolutionize how we maintain data, how we maintain finances, security, everything. It's going to change everything about our life. Our lives and the human race and the technology that we're in is going to be dramatically different 10 years from now, especially because of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So I'm super bullish on where it's going to go. And I honestly believe that a lot of these tokens that we're buying into now are going to be similar investments to buying Amazon back in the .com boom. I truly believe that. So Doge mega fan, man. 90% of my portfolio is in Doge. So yeah, we're absolutely like on the ground floor capital, you know, venture capitalism here. It really is. You're buying into these systems that are fundamentally going to change the financial system as we know it completely. So it's, yeah, how, the ramifications of what's going to happen in this world because of blockchain and cryptocurrency is insane. And a couple of the big things, because we always talk about, you know, what Satoshi originally wanted with cryptocurrency and blockchain. And, you know, they were talking about, you know, messaging and owning your own data. And that's because there was an issue when the internet came out that nobody really thought of. And that was how your data would be used and how impersonal and in private the internet can be. Literally anyone can find out anything about you at any point in time. A blockchain is something specifically that can really help a lot of those functionalities. We talk about things like quantum computing being a factor in maybe destroying blockchain. That's never going to happen because we're already working at blockchains that are quantum resistant. So I highly doubt that that is a reality. The current only risk to cryptocurrency that I see it as, and cryptocurrency would go to zero, is if a solar flare happened and destroyed everything on Earth in terms of all the electronics. That's the only thing that I can see to destroy cryptocurrency at this point. Am I Satoshi? No, but I'm pretty sure I have a good idea who Satoshi is. Not even lying. No cap. I would recommend, if anyone wants to go down that rabbit hole. So, okay. I'm so afraid of like saying this because I don't know if like I want to out the guy, because he's currently working on a really good project. But you know, regardless, maybe he's not Satoshi. Maybe this is all speculation, you know, but you take it all with a grain of salt. Regardless, he is the grandfather of digital cash, and you should pay attention to him just for that, right? It is David Chaum. He's working with the XX network and developing the XX coin, coming out with a private messaging system and everything else. It's a really, really interesting product, and I truly believe that this person could have at least influenced the cypherpunk movement, if not been a part of it. So take that with what you will. He used to type in double spaces. I read his dissertation in back that he wrote in the 80s, and it sounds a lot like blockchain to me, before blockchain was made. So very, very interesting stuff. And you know, he inspired that paper, inspired the cypherpunk movement, inspired blockchains like XRP, for example. So you know, take with what you will. He double spaces and everything else just like Satoshi used to. So it is what it is. But XX coin and the XX network, I'd recommend you at least look into that. Adam Beck? No, I still don't think it's Adam Beck or Hal Finney. No. I think Hal Finney was a nice excuse and somebody to make, you know, this is Satoshi, because Satoshi disappeared after Hal Finney, right? So it's almost like Satoshi died with Hal Finney, but I don't think that they're the same person, personally. What's really moving today? Let's talk about that. Matic. Oh man, I've heard a lot about Matic. I really should enter it because I hear it's a nice layer 2. Apparently really fast and cheap transactions. So I'm super bullish on something like that. How many tokens do you hold? I guess that's more the question, right? How many tokens do you hold? How much risk do you want? You know, what's the spread? Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I would just say, when you're looking at investing, honestly, just look into projects that really like make you feel like this is solving a problem, or you know, it could be really exciting in the future. And I'd probably focus on investing in that. Of course, there's good coins that you can invest in, but you gotta be careful, because like a lot of things are speculative still. There's still not widespread utility. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have governments using blockchain technology and, you know, having all the datas and files on blockchain. We don't have insurance companies, you know, finalizing your policy payments with Ethereum, right? So it's gonna happen, but you know. Yeah, no worries. Although Sol pumped really hard. Actually, how's that been doing? So this pumped hard, and then it looks like it dumped, but it rebounded like pretty good. It's like right back where it was. Yeah, there's like no difference. I definitely wish I got in at around this price. That was incredible. I'm surprised of that move. I think there's still like plenty of room for the upside, but not something that I'd be willing to enter. Harmony One, yeah, let's take a look. Because I can't find it on TradingView, and I don't want to open up my Binance for it. I feel like it was higher, and yeah, we've been bleeding, eh? So here's the thing about bleeding, and it happens a lot. And the thing is, when you see a project, especially a project that did like how much it did, so it went from a market capitalization of, there we go, market cap. It went from a market capitalization of 219 million all the way up to 1.7, hold on, almost 2 billion. So that's dramatic. That's a huge increase. So when you're making an increase like that, you got to expect some level offs. So it doesn't surprise me that we've extendedly bled. But the reality is that this might be a really good accumulation zone, because Harmony One at the end of the, like, it's a really nice project. It has a really good team behind it. What they're doing makes sense. They provide a superior project than most others in terms of transaction fees and speeds. So I don't see a reason why Harmony One can't do well. But the charts are the charts. When you see something pump as hard as Harmony One did, it's going to like bleed go on an extended bleed, especially when it's a low cap too, because that's similar with like almost anything. The thing that's coming to mind right now is BPRO, and when you have lower caps too, you have more trading bots trading those accounts too, so you're getting a little bit more decline. But same thing with BPRO, when it shot up, right? It takes some time to cool off, especially when it's low cap with not a lot of support. So I wouldn't be concerned about it. Like I wouldn't be selling any of my Harmony One, but it's probably a good time to buy. Definitely. Can pump more? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When is a totally different story, right? It's not about if, it's about when. Definitely with Harmony One. Harmony One is, in my opinion, maybe I was a little bit bullish on like the first go round, but still the project is really good. I'd still probably say it's within the top 20 to top 30 cryptocurrencies. Like it can make it up there, right? So we're talking about the likes of like Bitcoin SV, a Pancake Swap, right? So I definitely think it can get into this echelon up here. So. Yeah, where are you getting 12% APY? I actually wasn't staking mine. I literally just held it in Binance like an idiot. I should really look into that. I don't know why I didn't. That's like the one thing that I'm usually really good at. I'm like have almost all of my tokens being staked somewhere, or making something somewhere, right? So. So let's look at BPRO. So first thing I will say, anytime you're talking about market caps or coins under rank 400, you're getting into some of the danger zone, right? But I'm pretty confident in my bet in BPRO. Do your own research, of course. I'm pretty excited with the platforms that I can create. We've seen it with Poker Markets and what's happening there. So really excited for where it could go. And obviously the CEO is doing really well right now. But I'd probably say this is definitely in a buy, because it's definitely bled out, and we've seen the less exaggeration of the volatility, right? And every time we see it go up, and actually, hold on, I think, no, I don't. Every time we've seen it go up, right? Because you see it here, and I can't write on my screen or anything, but you see where it came up here. At this point, Bitcoin took a massive dump, and it was the exact same thing every time that the BPRO trend started to swing around. So I don't know that we'll get like down to the 1 cent range anymore. I think we're pretty comfortable at the 1.2 cent. I think BPRO is going to shoot up eventually. And again, this is a question of when. But we can see things that are, kind of coiling up. But it's been a long road for BPRO. So You know, it's been an extended bleed. I think right now what BPro needs specifically is probably an exchange listing, because like we have KuCoin. KuCoin is full of trading bots and trading all the low pair caps. So, you know, BPro is being impacted by that. And then you have Uniswap, right? So I would definitely like to see something like maybe a Binance listing if we get lucky. That'd be really cool. There's a lot of pressure on like from the community to list BPro. So I think it will happen, but hopefully that's sooner than later. But I would pick it up, but it's definitely more of a risky hold. Yeah. With Harmony One, 12%. Well, like I earn 12% on my Polkadot in KSM, and I think you can earn 20% on. Oh God, what is it? It's something. I gotta go check it. To buy Doge, so your probable best bet is depending on where you are, I'd probably say Binance. Because once you buy Doge, you're gonna realize really quick that Doge isn't what you want to buy, and you want to buy some other altcoin. And Binance is probably gonna have every other altcoin that you want, at least the safe ones, right? If you want every altcoin, you want to go to like something like KuCoin or Bixby or something like that. But Binance is probably going to be the most user friendly for you. It's going to have the best insurance for you. So I would recommend Binance if you want Dogecoin, buddy. That's my 2 cents on that. OXT, not sure. Let me go check. AMP, I don't know. I think I've heard about AMP. You can take a look about that, and then OXT really quick. I mean, you know, 30 days just released. You can call it the future. But, you know, being in the top 60 rank of cryptocurrencies is pretty impressive, personally. So it'd be something that I'd look into, but not something that I know enough about to make a decision on. But seems interesting. Depending on what it can do. So OXT is... Oh, yeah, I've seen mention of this. I remember somebody asking me about Orchard. Yeah, so I think the big thing here, because you hear the FUD about like ExpressVPN, NordVPN, and like when you use these VPNs, it doesn't really protect you. It maybe protects you from your internet service provider, but somebody still is getting your browsing data and where you're going, right? Regardless of if it's your ISP or a VPN. So maybe your ISP isn't sending you annoying, you know, emails that you're torrenting movies off of Rarebag or something. But you know, at the end of the day, your information is going to somewhere. Maybe sure they're not selling your information, but it is going to a central entity, right? And so I think it would depend on how it works. Learn our values. Let's see if we can get some cliff notes. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of just seeing bunnies instead of the actual pictures, but I'm sure if like I clicked on names or I guess not. I would like to see like I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I'd have to research individuals. Like the CEO and the CTO is probably the ones that I'd look into, see what they've done before. So this person, Jay Freeman, definitely would be one of the big people that I look into because, you know, at the end of the day, they're building the blockchain, right? But it could work if they're building something out that keeps, you know, security and privacy at the forefront and, you know, integrates blockchain technology. So, but yeah, looks pretty fleshed out. Looks like a good website, good presentation. But I would need to do some more digging on the team personally to make an accurate assessment of it. But it looks good, and I think I've heard a couple of good things about it, but haven't really taken a good look until now. So it's something that I'll look into because I think they have a good presentation here, but I definitely want to do it a little bit more justice. But yeah, super bullish on anything that we can integrate, anything today that we can integrate into blockchain technology. Like that is a main. amazing. Andrew, you didn't have to do that, buddy. Thanks for the 5, buddy. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like, boys. I appreciate it. What's exciting here is that we finally have the crypto market cap at 2.5 trillion. And I've talked about where I think the crypto market cap can go. Now, again, and even as bullish as this looks, I still don't think it's over. I still don't think we've topped out. Because if you see here, retracements are very, very normal. Radical retracements are very, very normal. And now we're like coming out of this retracement. We're hitting all-time highs again and going back into it, regardless of what Bitcoin is doing, right? Bitcoin doesn't matter in this case. At the end of the day, you know, the best thing that you can do for your financial future, sure, is stacking sats. But this, you know, when you're investing in altcoins, you truly are investing in the future of blockchain technology. And it's not only going to be a store of value, it's also going to be payments. It's going to be tons of other things. Initial litigating offerings. So if you go to sue somebody, say you need to sue somebody and fund the legal fees, you can put that up in a token and have the public fund something like that. So it's incredible what blockchain can do. And I think really we're just scratching the surface of what blockchain can do. So what we're doing here, deep down in the charts, right? Looking in these charts, some of us are leverage trading, some of us are just watching, right? What we're doing is so inconsequential and small to the future of blockchain technology. So everyone should be super excited about where this is going to go. What am I bullish into right now? Honestly, man, it's like all Polkadot that I'm like super bullish into. If you look at like my actual portfolio, like I'll go through my percentages and some of them might surprise people. But I'm a fairly big XRP bull because I do believe in it. I believe the SEC case is dramatically frivolous. It doesn't like matter in the grand scheme of things in terms of XRP. Hold on, I want to pull this up when I'm talking about XRP. XRP is near and dear to my heart. Let me say that I've been buying XRP. This is my third altcoin. I first bought Bitcoin, then I bought DGB. I didn't even buy Ethereum, and then I bought XRP, and then I started buying Ethereum. XRP, I truly believe in the global payment structure in terms of XRP. I believe in dramatically more in that in terms of onboarding a lot of our legacy financial system. And realistically, what do you think governments would work with? Would you work with a blockchain that has been regulated through litigation and through numerous attempts by Ripple? Or would you go through an unregulated blockchain like Ethereum to onboard the legacy financial system? That's a pretty easy decision, especially when you look at Ripple as an American company, and Vitalik Buterin is a Russian-Canadian citizen. That's a very easy decision for something like the United States to make. So I think the SEC case is all... you know, excuse my French, it's all bullshit. And whatever it is, it was an elaborate way to shake out holders. But the token is still going to do well. So with that, you look at the Flare token and the Flare DEX and what's going to be happening there. I think it's hugely bullish ecosystem that you should be looking into, but not financial advice, of course. So if you look at my top holdings, 44% of my portfolio is XRP. Then below that, 9% is Bitcoin. That's only because Bitcoin has dropped and lost a significant amount of my portfolio over time. That used to be a dramatically higher price, but I haven't been buying much Bitcoin. And then Ethereum is 7.4%. That's gone up. VeChain is 6%. That's gone up massively. VeChain was never in my top 10 holdings, but now it is. And then we have Celsius and then ADA and then a few others. So it goes down in there. Even Polkadot is below all of that. But if you max out like all my Polkadot tokens, it's easily my number 2 hold. So if you like put in together Zor, Polkadot, PSwap, KSM, and everything, that's easily my second hold over Bitcoin. So I would say that in terms of which I'm bullish on the most, so right now I own Zor. So I've been on the swap of Zor. I'm currently providing a liquidity pair of Zor and PSwap. So those are so far the two that I'm owning. And then I'm going to be buying Val, which is the validator token. Now, I don't know exactly how it works. I'm still learning a lot about the tokenomics. Like Zor, for example, is elastic. So you would buy new Zor from a bonding structure and then you would sell Zor back. So I still gotta learn a lot about the tokenomics in terms of it before I like speak confidently about it. But I'm super bullish on the Polkadot system. So those right now are probably my most immediate picks that I'm most bullish on. Right now, I'd probably say Zor over any. And then like, of course, like I'm big into KSM. I own a lot of KSM. So I'm really happy with where that can go, to be honest. I'm just really bullish on the ecosystem. So even if you pick up like Kylan, Moonbeam's not out, but when Moonbeam gets out, I definitely would recommend entering Moonbeam. I will be entering Moonbeam as soon as it's out. And I'm hoping that it's provided out on PSwap first. I don't know where it'll be, but I can't wait. Engine and NFTs. Listen, all the FUD about NFTs and people saying, I don't get it. I don't get it. People don't get buying hollow Charizards, but there's still, arguably, that still was one of the best financial investments that you could have made, is buying a hollow Charizard a couple of years ago, right? Like, you got to recognize that there are collectors in this world that really value having authentic things. And validating something on an NFT blockchain is going to be huge. Then when you have a company like Engine and a blockchain like Engine working with NFTs and gaming, it's just a hugely bullish ecosystem. I think they're almost like the number one blockchain that does that, right? That does gaming and NFTs, like specifically, other than maybe Decentraland, or who's higher? I don't know where Mana is. Mana. Where's Mana and Engine? Okay, so yeah, no, Engine is. I think Engine is like the top coin that does it. I think Engine is like a safe NFT play, I would say. Yeah, I definitely say it's a safe NFT hold. I don't understand Litecoin. Like, I just don't get it. Somebody's got to sell me on it, man. Somebody's really got to sell me on it, because I just see a blockchain that is better than Bitcoin. Sure. Funds payments, but the market cap is so high, and I don't see it like maybe going back to its all-time high. Like, what was its all-time high? Yeah, all-time high. Oh, wait, no, did it just hit its all-time high? Wait, really? I thought its all-time high was like 1100. No, wow, it just hit its all-time high. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's just so much more that you can put your money into, personally. But I'm not shitting on anyone's coin. It's still going to rise. Like, it's still going to do good. I'm just talking about ROI, like what's going to provide the best ROI. So, yeah, Engine is easily the biggest in market cap. It's going to do well, but that doesn't mean that other tokens are going to do well. Like, Mana is still a really good token. And then you even look deeper on a lot of the other tokens. Then you have the NFT space tokens that you could have. They could pump similar to how exchange tokens have pumped. And savings tokens, we saw the Nexo token, BTR, sell. So it could be a similar thing to that. But there's a lot in the NFT space, but I wouldn't look over it as, oh, I don't get it, so I don't want to buy it. You know, I think you should always, this is my investment strategy. Invest a lot in what you're sure of, and then only invest in what you're willing to lose and what you're not sure of. So if you're not sure of a product, but you know, you hear people say that it could do well, throw a little bit of money in. What's a risk, right? As long as you're not, you know, going to be retiring in the next 10 years, you know, I don't know. Take some risks, guys. This is .com era. I'm not telling you to lose your life savings here, but you know, throwing a couple hundred bucks at a YOLO project is never a bad thing. How often do you adjust my exit prices? Oh, almost like daily. It really just depends. So like my exit prices in terms of like what I've talked about in TA. So I'm not exactly sure what you're asking in terms of the question, because you could think of two different things from exit prices. So if you talked about like exit prices in terms of, you know, I'm going to start dollar cost average and selling a little bit of Bitcoin at maybe $80,000 or something like that. Sure, you can call that an exit. But when you're talking about when you're actually dollar cost averaging, what I'm going to be looking at is how fast the chart's moving on a day to day. So if I see the chart moving like Here, we'll bring up 2017. So if I see the chart moving in similar moves that 2017 did, where it's moving up like 40, 50% in a day, those are days that I'm going to take a little bit of profit. So I'm not going to exit a project at a strict dollar amount. It's more going to be a dollar cost getting out of a project, if that makes sense. Or you could be asking about like how often do I change my predictions for prices? And that would probably be maybe like monthly, weekly, depending, or if there's been big moves in the chart, or big news coming through. There's a lot that has to factor in with a price prediction, because you're talking about what new news is coming through, what are the charts looking like, what are the tokenomics that could be affecting the price. Is there money coming in? Is there institutional money? So are there funds being created for that token? So there's a lot that would go into, but I'd probably say I evaluate my price prediction monthly. But in terms of when I would pull money out, that would be almost like a daily, if not bi-weekly basis when I'm in cash out zones. So hopefully that makes sense. I know that was a long-winded answer, and I don't even know if that like completely completely answered what you wanted. Cool. Perfect. Where do I see PancakeSwap going? Nowhere. So let's look at it, and I'll actually I have no problem with showing you guys my PancakeSwap. I'm gonna pull that up too. So PancakeSwap version 2 is coming out. We are still waiting on 200 million, almost 300 million dollars worth of liquidity to move over into the PancakeSwap system. We do see Uniswap is increasing. I'm not sure. I checked, and I think gas fees have been reduced. Hey, Bitcoin, I really appreciate that, buddy. I really appreciate it. You didn't have to do it, but much appreciated, man. Thank you for the 5. But you see Uni sitting at 2.6, which has gone up. So it's beat Pancake. But we've been seeing the fight with Pancake, MDEX, and Uni. So this is very liquid, what's happening up here. So I wouldn't be looking at, I don't know. I wouldn't be looking at it as something to be concerned about when you talk about something like PSwap coming out. Now, when you look at Pancake, so I just want to pull this up here. So first off, first impressions of PancakeSwap, when you get on, or when somebody hears about PancakeSwap, the first thing is, well, why the hell would you name it PancakeSwap? And easily, PancakeSwap, in my opinion, is possibly the best DEX out there right now. I think there's going to be better. I think this is just super bullish on the decentralized exchange space. You see right here that I have liquidity being provided right now. I'll show you exactly how much too. But right now I have 1 cake that I can harvest. So I'm going to go harvest this cake. I could throw this cake in the lottery if I wanted to. I don't. I just reharvest my cake. So I'll harvest that. That'll come into my MetaMask. Now, if I go into my farms and I go to my stake, so my reef wasn't doing anything. So instead of just sitting it on Binance, I brought it over to PancakeSwap, and here it is providing liquidity and earning me cake. So it earned me so far within the last 2 days 0.659 cake, and then the cake BNB pair provided me 0.4, which is roughly like $40 right there. Hey, Jared, really appreciate it, man. Please say, ouchie, ouchie, Dr. Fauci. Oh, Jesus, that was the weirdest thing I've ever done. But thanks for the 2, man. In Canada, in Canadian land, we call that a toonie. So, but you can see how much LP tokens. So LP is a liquidity pool token. So essentially, what a liquidity pool token is, a 1-to-1 of the 2 tokens that I'm putting into liquidity. So right here, you can see Cake and BNB. That means there's a 1-to-1 value of Cake and BNB in each liquidity pool token. And these tokens, my Cake and my BNB, are being traded with another pool of a bunch of other people's LP. So I'm in this with a bunch of other people, just random people using the DEX. And we're all making an earning off of the exchanges. So the people actually using the DEX, right? Because when you look at Binance, they need to fund the trading pairs somehow. Like they need to have this money there. So with a decentralized exchange. We provide the liquidity, which means we make the money. It's super cool. I really like it. If you're learning about DeFi, you're brand new to DeFi, go to PancakeSwap. Learn it. It's the Binance Smart Chain. It's really easy to use. It's fairly easy to set up. I love it. Once you earn your cake, so you saw all that I harvested my cake. And this is showing you exactly what I hold too. You can go back and check these numbers. But we're sitting at 24.4 cake, so about 25 cake. These are all rewards, by the way. I haven't bought any of these cake. So I'm staking some cake that I bought, but this is all rewards. So right here, I'm going to add all my cake that I just got. So the whole one cake, I'm going to confirm, and I'm going to throw that in this pool here. I'm going to pay a little bit of BNB to get this on here. And then once it's on there, I have 25.5 cake. So that's PancakeSwap. That's basically what's Pancake or PSwap and all the other decentralized exchanges are going to be doing. But if you're new to the DeFi space, I definitely look into Pancake. Yeah, you know what? We are kind of unicorns though, Canada. You know, at the end of the day, like we're super polite, but in our head, like we are super mean. You can cut us off and we'll be super nice to you, but we are mad in our head. Don't get me wrong. I yell pretty hard in the car. You know what the best thing about this whole pandemic thing is masks. And the reason why I say that is because I wear my mask in the car, mainly because I can road rage the hell out of these people that are so ridiculously dumb. If you live in Southern Ontario, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I live in a close area to Toronto, so we get the worst of the drivers. And I'm a really good driver, and I get super annoyed when I get somebody cutting me off. So it's nice to wear the mask in the car and just scream at them. So we'll get there, man. I think it's just, I think for YouTube right now, when I started with YouTube, it definitely was undersaturated. Like it didn't have a lot of people. But I just didn't break out fast enough because I didn't only make Cardano videos. And so, we're chilling, but I definitely think we're going to grow over time. I'm not really worried as the bull market goes, but we have the whole another bear market and everything else to build up. So as the content gets better, as I get better at live streaming, and as I'm a lot more, day to day doing this stuff, because I work a full-time job and it's hard to keep everything down. Hopefully when lockdowns come up, then I'm gonna be able to go back to the gym and everything else. So, I'm gonna maintain consistency and keep trucking and we're gonna get there. Well, I mean, hey, listen, there are some car anger problems, okay? That runs in my family, but angrily yelling at somebody with the mask on and not moving anything else. I'm not causing no harm. I'm just letting out some frustration in my car alone by myself. So it is what it is. Yeah, so actually it's funny because we could almost look at the channel and talk about like channel TA. Right now we're hitting a little bit of resistance. So I don't know what's going on with the network. Seems a little bit slow because normally it's not this slow. But there you go. You can see that my cake is staked and I officially have $1,000 worth of cake rewards. So now, of course, I started when cake was $6, but like the network's not going to go anywhere. It's super easy to use. So, but that's PancakeSwap. I like it. I think what they're doing with the lotteries are really cool. I entered the lottery once. I lost. It is what it is. I YOLO'd $60 when cake was like $10. So, six tickets and, so it was interesting. And then they have their NFT. So I don't know how they're going to expand this, but I'm overall I'm very bullish on where Polkadot can go, or not Polkadot, on where PancakeSwap can go. There's too many P's, man, and too many dexes, too many tokens. But I'm really excited for where it can go, especially if it's this like user friendly, fleshed out, and fun. It really makes DeFi like fun to learn and get into. But my best advice for this, and my best advice since I missed out on Uniswap when MetaMask, when they airdropped 1,400 Uni tokens to everyone, I committed to, you know what, I'm just going to take more risks and YOLO into things that I don't understand. And so far that's been a pretty good tactic to, take, $500 and YOLO it into something. And that's what I originally started with PancakeSwap. I started with $500. I put 250 in Cake, 250 in BNB, staked that, and over time it grew to what it is now, which I believe that alone is close to 4 or 5 grand right now. And then I added on Reef and everything else, so plus the rewards. So overall, so we canceling Joe Rogan? I don't know. I didn't hear anything about Joe. I heard I think here's my hot take on Joe Rogan. Okay, my hot take. I love Joe Rogan. Love him. He's a very smart person intelligent person. So there's a difference between like intelligence and smart. So he's very intelligent, but he's not very smart. And sometimes people can get roped into things. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I still like Joe. Joe's, he's the Fear Factor guy, man. He's announced some of the best UFC fights. We can't cancel Joe. He just may say some stupid shit from time to time. It is what it is. Thoughts on BlockFi? I love it. So BlockFi, Celsius. Listen, if you're not earning on your cryptocurrency, holy, like there's a problem with you. Like you have all this value in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then like if you cash out, you're cashing out into Pax Gold, you're cashing out into USD. Earning an interest on that 8, 9, 10% is really good. I know with Bitcoin it's probably rougher to like the 5%, but if you think about it, you're earning like 4 or 5% in Bitcoin. That Bitcoin in 5, 10, 15 years is going to be worth a lot more than the few dollars or $100 that you're making on your interest right now, right? That Bitcoin is going to grow with the rest of your Bitcoin. So yeah, you should absolutely be using services like BlockFi and Celsius. I'm also like a big fan of like not your keys, not your crypto, sure. But like I do stuff like PancakeSwap. I have liquidity on Uniswap. Like I'm not going to just keep all of my funds sheltered, right? I keep some sheltered, so if something catastrophic happens and I lose a wallet or something like that, everything's spread out. A lot of things are insured. I know Celsius insures a lot of my stuff. BlockFi I know has a lot of insurance as well. So I definitely trust the two top ones, BlockFi and Celsius. I have a little bit in Nexo as well. So and that's because they pay a good interest rate on XRP, about 4%, which is higher than anyone else. So yeah, I have DOT staked on Kraken. Same thing for 12%. And like, would I feel any discomfort with having it on Binance? Nope. Not one at all. I trust Binance completely. In fact, every time that they have had big hacks or big issues with Binance, they've paid out the users. So why would I be worried? Your only concern is you getting hacked. That should be your main concern with a lot of these cases. Are you giving your seed phrase up to anybody? Your seed phrase should never go to anyone. So it's very important. There's a lot of people that will get Discord messages saying that, oh, you've won 0.03 Bitcoin. So oh, hey, wow, I've won 5 grand. You think pretty good deal. And then they say, hey, we want you to deposit 0.1 Ethereum or 0.2 Ethereum to get your Bitcoin withdrawal or whatever. Come on, guys. If it's too good to be true, it is. Nobody wants to give you free money. That's not how this works. But when you're working with services like BlockFi and Binance and Celsius, and they've been around the block for a while, you gotta trust them. I don't know what the difference of American coffee is. So this is Starbucks. I don't know if you would even have it. It's a Starbucks grind of Great North. So I don't know if that's like a thing that is in the States as well. If that flavor is in there, but it's like a mix of a light and a medium roast, but just black coffee, dude. I love espresso though. Don't get me wrong, but I usually only have espresso when I'm pulling an all-nighter or something. It's gonna be a crazy night, but yeah. But that's PancakeSwap. I'm gonna do a video on PSwap, but there's a little bit more to it because you got to go to actually, I don't know what I'm allowed to show and what I'm not allowed, in terms of my personal security. I don't know, yeah, how that'll work. But like, I do have the Polkadot like dashboard that you go to receive your tokens. So there's like an added layer there, and then bridging. Yeah, you have to learn to bridge, which really isn't that big of a deal. But you know, yeah, I'm Canadian, dude. I live in southern Ontario, so close to the border, but pretty close to Toronto, about 2 hours from Toronto. Yeah, we're basically America light here, man. It really is America light. Oh man, that's everywhere, right? And they have their little wallet thing that you send it. They have Vitalik Buterin or Charles Hoskinson on the live stream and something. They hacked in a bunch of Twitter accounts, and Elon Musk and a bunch of other people saying like, if you send Bitcoin to this address, we'll double it. It's just, yeah, they're ridiculous, but people fall for it. They wouldn't be doing this if people weren't falling for it and like they weren't making money. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with like all these Pakistani call centers that are calling around to get old people to buy Google Play cards. They wouldn't be doing it if they weren't making money. It's insane, but every day I pray for Dogecoin to burn, to crash and burn. I think. Yeah, I think people are right with one thing about Dogecoin. Now, I've disagreed that Dogecoin's a bubble. I don't agree with that. If Dogecoin was a bubble, Dogecoin would be like $100 right now. It'd be friggin' insane. It'd be pumping past Bitcoin. I think $100 billion is not a lot of money. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot to you and me, but when we're talking about global economies, $100 billion is nothing. It's like, yeah, it's literally inconsequential to the crypto market. So if it crashed right now, it'd be nothing. But I do think if Dogecoin does pump at a ridiculous rate and goes to a ridiculous price and does crash, that could be very bad in terms of U.S. regulations being imposed. SEC could get involved, and it could dramatically drag down the crypto market if something like that happens. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with Doge, but what is wrong is the big hype and pumps that we see from Elon Musk in the media. That is wrong, and it's going to cause some issues. So regardless of where Doge is going, what's happening with pumping Doge is going to be the ultimate problem. So I wouldn't say it's a problem with Doge fundamentally, but at the same time, I'm not bullish on Doge at all. So it is what it is. I feel really bad for people who really send their ETH. I'm not sure what you mean. Like, do you mean like sold their ETH or something? Oh, like moved, maybe you mean like moved ETH to Doge? Maybe, I don't know. Like if you're going into Doge, please, like just consider it a speculation. I own a little bit of Doge, but it's in no way like over like maybe 0.25% of my portfolio. You know what I mean? Like if Doge moves, it's really inconsequential to my life. Milton's a nice area in that area, at least. I'm not a huge fan of like a lot of the areas in the GTA, Mississauga and everything. I personally wouldn't want to live there, but this is coming from someone that literally lives in a glass house right now. Don't throw stones from a glass house. I live in London. So obviously, we're not any better down here. So it is what it is. We're just as much of a mess. But holy, the one thing that's making me sick is this goddamn housing market. It's making me really want to reevaluate whether or not I'm staying in Ontario in the next 5 years. So, yeah, are you gonna double my Bitcoin, Satoshi? You gonna send me 0.1 back? I'd appreciate that. Post your wallet down below. I'll make sure to get right to it. Yeah, honestly, Doge, that's the funny thing about Doge, right? And I've mentioned this before. Doge isn't going away. It doesn't make sense to go away. It's not going to go away. It can't. And Doge is actually a harder asset than the United States dollar. That is actually not a meme. That is real. It's a harder asset than the USD. So when you put that in perspective, Yeah, maybe the real Ponzi is this. Maybe this is the real Ponzi. Everyone's buying this. Everyone's getting paid every week in this. This is what everyone's dollar cost averaging every single goddamn week, right? When you get your paycheck, this is what you're getting. You're getting a declining asset. An asset that is printed at infinity with no regulations. And by the way, they've now stopped showing you how much they're printing. That is done with. They're no longer going to show you M2 and M3 reports. So we have no idea how much they're actually printing and how much inflation is going to go up and whether or not we are going to see hyperinflation. So if it happens, it's going to be completely out of the blue and nobody's going to be able to see it coming. Although people are saying that it's coming. Maybe I'm a little bit bearish on this, but personally, this is a hill that I'm willing to die on. I truly believe that the United States dollar, the days are numbered. I really believe that. It is what it is, but no fiat currency, not one fiat currency in history has ever made it past the test of time. Not one, not a single fiat. So here's the thing about the euro, about CAD, about everything. If the United States dollar falls, it all goes down. It all tumbles down. It's all done once the USD goes down. But here's the thing. I don't think it's going to come to that. I think it's already set in stone what's going to happen. I think the system is going to be replaced far before we see a dollar collapse. I truly believe they're going to be phasing in CBDCs and government-backed digital currencies that are going to be lumped into a basket of currencies and held as a unified backing of all the currencies. I truly believe that that's the direction that we're going. It's what the IMF is hinting at. It's what everything is happening with financial structures. It's one of the most reasons that I'm bullish on XRP. Not looking into the conspiracy aspect. We're talking about strictly legislation and onboarding the legacy financial system. As it is right now, it's got to change. And it's going to move to blockchain. And it's going to do that before the dollar really takes a dump. We saw the repo market crashed in September of 2019, right before COVID and everything else. So it's a perfect storm of the finality of the dollar, and we're living through it. We are just to loop back to the start of the stream here. We are living through one of the biggest moments in history in technology and financial advancement. This is immensely huge what we're living through. This is going to be massive change for 10 years here. Yeah, I mean, Doge is down 12%, and then later it'll be up 30%. So, it is what it is. Oh, did he? I'm not sure if I believe that, Jared. I'm a huge Ben Cohen fan, but I don't know if I believe that. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Over from Ryan Tim. Hey, man, how's it going? Fellow Londoner. Hey, there we go. Yeah, we'll get there, man. The hair is currently the only casualty right now, So the hair will get better though. Once barbers are out, you know what? That's not even the biggest thing about lockdowns. The biggest thing is I don't have the gym. That's my biggest thing. For sure, man. Have a good one. Appreciate you stopping in and having a chat. HyperX, no. Hyper Chain X. I see. Hyper. I'll have to watch after this, Jared, and confirm. But huge fanboy. So if he did, I'm absolutely honored. Let's see. Oh, this just came out, eh? Let's see. Normally I don't do this. Normally I don't look at super low caps. So here's a couple of things I want to say before I look into it. So a couple of things that I want to say before I go into this is when you look at a low cap, they might have a really, really beautiful website. Holy crap, you could be really amazed by how this website is. But at the end of the day, any idiot can go pay $240 and get a really nice website done. So keep that in mind, okay? Even if it looks beautiful, you gotta be careful. Maximum supply, I don't know why I do. Is that 1 billion or 1 trillion? 1 billion, I think. Oh, man. Yeah, okay, 1 billion. I like the token supply of that, if that is what it is. Burn supply. They burnt. Oh, is that trillion? Okay, that is 1 trillion. That's what I thought. That's a lot of zeros. Okay, so this is like my first thing that I'd go to in terms of like recognizing who the team is. And again, I don't have LinkedIn's or anything. And on a site that just came up, I'd hope to have something like that. Surface level, I can't say that I'm like terribly impressed because it's not really doing anything that's fundamentally different. I like that it's launching on PancakeSwap though, but like, yeah, I think when you're looking for a platform, especially when they're like trying to do live streams, or I guess that's for the project, not for the actual like updates on the project, I'd assume. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely have to look way more into it to get a good perception of this. I wouldn't be able to like make a good like I can't say that I'm getting enough out of this website here, enough information to really make a valid opinion. What I'd end up doing at this point is I'd probably go to the white paper because I'm not super impressed with the website information. It is on the BSC blockchain, so we know at least that's good. But you know, it could be anything. Rug proof community. Yeah, so I'd be interested in looking more into the white paper and reading. Oh, this is not even like a full-fledged white paper, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't give you a good accurate thing. I'm super bullish on like gaming and gaming blockchains, right? But we're talking super low cap here. We're talking 1 trillion circulating supply. But we're talking BSC, so right now I'd say it's just a good risk. But I'm not looking at this as a long-term anything. But not something I'm entering. But I'd definitely be open to learning a lot more. Yeah, there are nights that I'm like getting ready for bed, right? Getting ready for bed. And like I make it a point to not look at cryptocurrency at a certain point in time. Mainly because like, you know, I just want to go to sleep, man. I want to stop thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like it's exhausting sometimes thinking about crypto all the time. So, you know, I'll be sitting there, I'll maybe play a little game or something like that, maybe watch a movie or something. Then all of a sudden I get a Benjamin Cohen notification saying he's live and ETH all-time highs. I'm like, oh, well, there goes going to sleep. So now go watch Ben and watch ETH pump. So it's, yeah, it's a vicious cycle at night. It's pretty brutal. Oh, Cell's pumped up. That's nice to see. This has been a struggle, I tell you. So, I can't complain about Cell. I can't complain at all. But some people can. I haven't heard many complaints, though. I think most people understand that if they're in Cell, they're in it for the long term. But I remember. Oh wow, is this chart like super new? Yeah, I'm not getting good data there. With Cell Token specifically, so Cell Token's basically traded sideways, which I haven't really complained about because I bought Cell Token at 62 cents, so like how can I complain? I think my dollar cost average for Cell, because I DCA'd a little bit more, maybe is around like $1.40. But I can see how like the sideways action is a little frustrating for people. But still, I don't know. I accumulated more in this area, like the low points when it was like down like 407. And then I think around in this area I accumulated. I definitely accumulated in the portfolio series. So we were talking about T-Fuel earlier. Actually, you missed out on that. I need to buy some. We'll go up due to... Yeah, man, I don't know any of that. What does that even mean? Like, I get the golden ratio and like I get... Like I'm not super bullish on things like Fibonacci's and everything else when you're talking about TA, because like at the end of the day, Fibonacci's are really not accurate in terms of like like even Bollinger Bands are probably more accurate in terms of like being able to dictate what's going to happen in the near term. Fibonacci, you can't take a Fibonacci serious, in my opinion. Fibonacci is maybe good to analyze crashes or pumps, but it's not super good to predict what's going on. So yeah, no, don't be sorry. I love talking about it, man. I should be buying some, to be honest. We've talked about BPRO, but let's take a look at the chart, and we'll reiterate some things about BPRO, because I know it's been on a downturn, and I know a lot of my bros are hurting on it, and I get it. There's a couple of things to be aware with BPRO. One, we're on KuCoin, which is a big issue in terms of like the supply that we have there. We have a lot of bots that trade on KuCoin, and a lot of the low cap coins on KuCoin are constantly bot traded. So you're going to have a lot of pressure on all coins, not just BPRO. So you have that. You have the FUD that was around the project initially with the token circulation. That's been cleared up, at least. I think at this point we're heading into an area where we could make an upswing. And the big identifier there is because we were making that upswing. I made a video. We went up to 1.7 cents, and then Bitcoin capitulated and everything got canceled. So we just got to wait for the market to recoup. Market has recouped now. So I think as long as Bitcoin chills out for a bit, and as long as Ethereum chills out too, because at this point, I think if Ethereum drops, the crypto market will kind of go through a hiccup too. I think as long as those two relax for a little bit, Ethereum can keep going up. But as long as Bitcoin just chills and stays level, I think we will be in sight for a good BPO pump. But you know, it is definitely one of my riskier holdings for sure. But you know, I like the project. I like the premise of the project. I appreciate where it's going. I'm really happy with what they did with Polka Markets. I'm excited when that's going to be live. I really should own a little bit of Polka Markets, but I don't. But again, it's all low cap, and you're looking at a little bit more risk there. Have a good one, Gary. Appreciate it, man. Take it easy. Harmony, yeah, I'm super bullish on Harmony One. I think it's a great team. We looked at Harmony One earlier, but I think if you hold Harmony One, you probably hold a good project. Right now, on the downturn, I would just look at this as a buying opportunity. I wouldn't look at it as a situation where you need to panic. But 12 cents is probably a good entry for people that don't have a Harmony One position. But you know, obviously, it's not pumped from far from where I entered, because I entered during a pump. So I broke one of my cardinal rules about eating a candle or buying into a green candle. So it happens, right? You get the FOMO, everyone does, but it wasn't like it was a lot of money. So but I believe in the project long term. So yeah, so I gotta figure it out. Like I gotta, because like yeah, I just need a tutorial on the whole thing. I just don't understand it, but I just need to YOLO and buy some T fuel before I figure it out. That's like typically been my thing, and I have some cash on the sidelines that I can move into. So yeah, absolutely. Please give a like to the stream. I really appreciate it. Really helps share these streams out too, and you know, afterwards if people want to watch it. So. But yeah, no, I gotta figure it out with T Fuel, because T Fuel was insane the first pump around. And somebody from my Discord literally told me about how gas tokens are going to be. Oh my God, that is insane. That's incredible. That's nutty. That's nutty. Oh my good Lord. That's insane. 18.9% in 1 year. That's nuts. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I want to understand it. I really do. Yeah, okay. I mean, with that, it's risky, you know, not to hold at least a little. Which coin from my portfolio? Are you talking about my the altcoin portfolio that we're doing on the channel, or are you talking about my like actual holdings? Because those would probably be two different answers. Actually, maybe they would be the same answer. No. They'd probably be two different answers. Yeah. I don't know, man, because that's a really hard thing to say, because I think a lot of things are undervalued right now. You look at things like VeChain right now, even at 22 cents, VeChain is like going to be one of the biggest supply chains out there. There are supply chain blockchains out there. I factor that in terms of the same category as like Amazon Web Services for the supply chain. I truly believe that any serious player in terms of mass industry and production is going to want to use a blockchain like VeChain. I'm like, there's a lot that is like undervalued right now. HBAR is really undervalued. But like I still consider like things like Ethereum undervalued, right? Because we still don't have widespread adoption with a lot of these cryptos. Have you heard about the potential upcoming partnership video about BPro and BitBoy? Going to cause a lot of pressure and FOMO. Yeah, it could. I think we're getting the FOMO now, though. I don't know, man. I have mixed feelings on it. Like, I'm bullish on the project, and I'm super excited for more people to get in. But you know, there's reputations that people tend to have, and it is what it is. I'm not shitting on anyone that likes them or anything. But you know, I feel like a lot of those holders that will come with BPro, or will come with BitBoy, are more like the paper hand kind of people. I definitely consider like you know, there are the two different people: the people that are just in it for the quick swing of the pump, and then the people that are in it for like the future of what the blockchain is going to be. So. You know, it is what it is. I think it's going to be bullish regardless for BPro, though. Like I welcome it. I absolutely welcome it. But you know, it would have been nice to see it come from someone else. But you know, there's still plenty of like other people that pump BPro. Like what's his name? Crypto. I can't remember his name. He's always streaming and always talks about how Asia bought the dip or Asia sold, and you know, the market is always dictated by Asia according to him, which I'm not sure I agree, but crypto something is his name. Crypto, geez, cryptos are us. That's his name. Yeah, he streams pretty consistently. Hey Abby, I really appreciate it, man. Loving the content anyway. Yeah, any way to buy PSwap? So right now I just bought PSwap. So I bought PSwap over here on Polkaswap. So Polkaswap is out on their soft launch right now. So what I ended up doing is I made a Polkadot wallet. So you have to go make a wallet and then bridge on your Zor. So what I did is I had my Zor on my MetaMask. Took my MetaMask and then put my Zor onto the PancakeSwap DEX. So it moved to the Sora blockchain instead of the Ethereum blockchain. So once that was bridged over, at that point, I went up to my swap. I went to Zor, and then I went and bought my PSwap token. You can hit max or type in however much you want to buy. You can have Ethereum if you want. You don't have to have Zor, but you do need to have a little bit of Zor to pay the gas fees, because all the gas fees are paid in Zor instead of ETH like Pancake or like Uniswap, and then BNB like PancakeSwap. So you'd buy your PSwap tokens, and then you can hold in this wallet. You can send it to another wallet. I'm not exactly sure the specifics, but what I do is I am providing Zor and PSwap tokens as liquidity. So people are trading with my Zor and my PSwap tokens with everyone else's as well. And I'm earning more PSwap by doing this. I'm not telling you what to do in that regard, but you know, there are some videos. It is a little bit hard to find the information to learn how to use it. I might make a tutorial almost. But everything is like super speculative. But this is my way of how you would buy PSwap. Any other way to buy PSwap? Let me just see here. I think. Oh yeah, no PorkSwap. No. Okay, so yeah, it's literally just here then, to what I know. So this is how I bought it. And this is probably how you can buy it too. It's probably the best way, at least. Sol versus HBAR. That's interesting. I've never heard the comparison. Is it just because their speed? Is that it? Because I feel like Sol is doing something fundamentally different than what HBAR is doing. Because HBAR is more of like an industry solution in terms of like big, massive industries like LG and you know, big companies like that. Where Sol I see more as like an Ethereum type project. I could be wrong in that, but Do you know when? That's the one thing that you want to check on. Now I heard in a video it's 4 years. I don't know how reliable that is. So please, just like I don't know. I don't know when they will pay out the PSwap tokens. So yeah, I can't tell you that. I can't answer that just yet. I'm still like I'm a day or two into using the PSwap DEX. I just like basically found out by a comment that this was the live net, not the test net. So I'm just kind of dipping my toes in. So I'm still learning a bunch of stuff. So I don't want to like recommend you provide liquidity just yet. But I think the rewards might be locked up for a period. I just don't know how long that period is. So, yeah, I think KuCoin bots are not only controlling, like this isn't an isolated issue in terms of just BPro. It's also an issue in terms of a lot of other KuCoin pairs. But I think it has a good amount of pressure on the price. You can see Reef obviously making it out of its downturn, right? And I kind of would look at like those two in the same light. Not really, like they're fundamentally two different projects doing two different things. One's in the NFT gaming space and one's in the not self-directed but automated DeFi space. But how the project started, I see is like having a similar like upbringing in terms of how the company was brought up and fought around it. But Reef recovered because of a Binance listing, right? Reef had that Binance listing behind it, so Reef was able to make it through the FUD with very minimal drops. But you see the huge volatility with BPro because obviously it was super bullish, and then we have the bots with KuCoin and everything else. So I think right now we could and it's not going to stop BPro from pumping. If BPro is going to pump and like BitBoy pumps BPro and it's all over Twitter and everything else, and people are entering it, bots are going to not be able to do anything. We're going to go up. But it would be really bullish to see BPro get another listing. I would love to see it go on Binance. I would absolutely love Binance to get it. Yeah, absolutely. We're actually we're talking this weekend. I think we have something interesting down the pipes coming out on their channel. If anyone hasn't seen, so there's a lot of like my viewers here, a lot of people that watch the channel. Over on Tim and Nancy Danter's channel, we did a couple of videos. We did one on how to value altcoins. We did another on the future of Ethereum and smart contract blockchains. And then we had a debate with the Canadian Bitcoiners, basically Bitcoin maxis versus altcoins. I think I did well. So it is what it is. Maybe they have a different perception of it, but I think I made some good points and validated why I think Bitcoin isn't the only blockchain that you should be investing into. Sol has the highest TPS in layer 1. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. But is Sol and HBAR? So here's the thing about HBAR. Is it even an Ethereum blockchain? I don't think so. I think its own distributed ledger. So the difference is you're looking at two different fundamentally blockchains. Actually, Sol isn't Ethereum as well. Hold on, sorry, talking out my ass. Bear with me here. I guess okay. So they're two different blockchains. So I just like I don't see the comparison, but maybe I'm missing something from Sol because I don't know Sol well enough. I know Hedera. I know Hashgraph. I know pretty well intimately like the governance structure and everything else. Oh hey, their site changed. But like look at like who's governing. Right? You have IBM, Google, like you have big industry titans. They serve 2 terms, I think, and 3 years a term, I think, something like that on the council, and then someone else is brought in. Sol, I see as something fundamentally different. Yeah. But maybe not, Maybe it is doing similar things. Sol can process up to 50,000 transactions per second. If true, that's crazy. Try to break it. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Very bullish. Why do I not own Sol? So if that's true, if 50k TPS is true, because that's the big threshold when you think about everything, right? Transactions per second is the biggest thing, right? So think about something like the stock market, for example. The NASDAQ or the Toronto Stock Exchange goes through 11.5 thousand transactions per second, right? When you're talking about the United States dollar, and you guys know my opinion on the USD, it's not going to be a long-term thing at this point. We are going to see it in our lifetimes go down, at least within the next 20, 30 years, at the like most bullish for the USD, in my opinion. I think we have maybe 5 years left on this legacy financial system. But when you look at a transaction like a TPS number of 50K, and we know Ripple has claimed off-chain that they can meet 75,000. But when you're looking at 50,000, you're able to basically match Visa, MasterCard, and everything else. I think Visa, MasterCard is maybe 10, maybe 15,000. So 50 is huge. 50 is basically going to handle a lot. Same with VeChain too. VeChain is going to handle a lot of transactions, but 50K is a lot. Way more than something that Ethereum can handle. So I understand the hype, at least. That's a quick speed, under a second transaction. So I really like the break it. I really like this, so I'm definitely going to play around with Sol. And you know what? I think I might be sold. If those are the exact numbers, that's pretty interesting. So I'm going to read more into it, but I'm kind of kicking myself for not looking into it a little bit deeper when I heard more about it. Matic Polygon, it's a great project in terms of what it's doing in terms of transactions and cheap fees. To what I hear, it's one of the better layer 2 parts of Ethereum. And I think layer 2 is like fundamentally where we're going with Ethereum. I think it's going to be the big driver, because we've even talked, or Vitalik Buterin has talked about, when ETH 2.0 comes out, it still needs layer 2. Like layer 2 is not obsolete at that point. Layer 2 is a big part of the Ethereum ecosystem. So when you have projects like Matic doing the things that they're doing, they're really boosting the health of the overall ecosystem. And I might sound bearish sometimes on Ethereum because I'm a little bit more of a Polkadot bull. But it's not going away. Ethereum's not going to go away, and Ethereum definitely is going to hit $10,000. That without a doubt. But I'm just a little bit more bullish on Polkadot personally. But that's just me. That's literally just me. So it is what it is. So we've been live for about an hour and 30 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap her up. So if you guys have any last minute questions, we can discuss those. Go ahead and like the video as well if you like the stream. We'll do this a lot more. We'll try to set a schedule up, but it's sometimes hard to just go live when the market moves, right? So, but I'll do my best to come live when the market moves, especially in a dump. I really like analyzing dumps because people freak out. And I just look at dumps as buying opportunities. Like down here, I was buying, right? When KSM dipped in this last dump, I bought KSM all down in this area, all down below that $400 mark that I said that we never drop below. So, obviously I'm going to be wrong, right? TA is at the end of it. It is astrology for men. But sometimes it's going to be useful to be able to call some things. So, but I was able to scoop up some KSM. I'm really happy with it. And now that we have P-swap, maybe I'll even move my KSM because I'm pretty sure I can provide KSM as liquidity here. Oh yeah. So, I could even move my KSM over here and provide it as liquidity, but it's pretty comfortable earning 12% on Kraken. So, I think we're probably entering what we would consider like the starts of an alt season. So I've talked about this before. There are two scenarios that I can see happening. One scenario, hold on, we got to go to the daily. Okay, so one scenario is that we end up pumping up to 150,000, my original prediction, and then we crash from there. And maybe crash roughly to around 45, somewhere around this level, 45 to 35,000, depending on how much longer it goes. Or Bitcoin continues to, kind of take its time, right? And as long as it takes its time like that, we could see altcoins pump. Now, what could be interesting is fundamentally this, hold on, here's without Bitcoin. Fundamentally, this bull market could be different than any other bull market. We don't know. All we can do is look at the prior data from prior bull markets and make an assessment based on that. But, you know, it is realistic. It's a realistic possibility. The altcoins are pumping and then go through a subsequent crash, and then Bitcoin engages back and continues its leg up. So if it trades level, continues its leg up, maybe down the road, maybe, you know, maybe 100 days, roughly, and goes on what we would call more of like a super cycle action of moving up in an extended bull market and going up to a higher price. Obviously, the longer sideways action is helpful for Bitcoin. Altcoins go through a pump and then maybe another pump after Bitcoin dumps at the end of the bull market. So that's realistic. A lot of people also are in the camp of saying that Bitcoin and crypto isn't going to dump. I'm sorry, I'm not in that camp. As much as I'd like to be, I'm not. I don't see widespread utility. Governments aren't using cryptocurrencies yet. You know, I don't go buy my groceries with cryptocurrencies. I on a day-to-day, I still need a bank account. The moment that I don't need a bank account, that's going to be a completely different story. I'm bullish long-term, but we're still not there in terms of adoption. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you again for everything, all the likes and all the support on the channel. Really appreciate it. If you guys have any recommendations, just let me know. But have a good one, and hopefully everyone's weekend is going good. All right, take it easy, everyone.